There is a Sudoku on mine too.
Welcome, Irwin, and we're so grateful that you could be with us tonight. I
Well,
know that.
Yes, I'm happy to do it. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All right. Should I just begin?
Sure. That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. The first poem that I want to read is something that Baba wrote when he got the Enlightenment. When he became God realized and Hazrat Babajan gave him the Enlightenment, this is what he wrote about her. So you're going to hear that. It's nice to start with someone else's poem, especially if it's the avatar. You see, you can't miss. Here goes. This is composed, Meherwanji, known as Meher Baba, composed the following ghazal dedicated to Babajan. O beloved master, I am eternally grateful to you. If I had 100,000 lives, I would sacrifice every one of them at your feet. You drowned me in the eternal ocean of oneness and transformed me into an ocean like yourself. In the twinkling of an eye, you made a lover into God, and God I have become. O Emperor of Masters, O Ocean of Mercy, O Perfection personified, Sadguru, if your merciful glance falls on anyone, a beggar turns into a king. Gods, goddesses, angels, celestial beings, and men are all awed by the brilliance of your divinity. O enlightened master of the three worlds, even if I were to transform my body into the sandals of your feet, it would be nothing in comparison with what you have done for Merrill. Everybody needs their Babajan, for sure. And when he gained that consciousness, that enlightenment, he couldn't help but appreciate it to the nth degree, beyond the nth degree, what Babajan had done for him. I want to read something now that I wrote. It's titled Meher Baba's Avataric School. All I got to do is find it now. The thing about this, after you hear it, you can decide whether you would have liked to gone to that school like no other. Sorry, it's taking me a little time here, but I got to go to page 46 of my book, Poems. This was the book that has all the circulars that I sent out in 2020. And you can hear, that's what I'm reading from. Now this one, Meher Baba's Avataric School. And I start off by saying, even though I didn't go to his school as Abdullah did, I must admit now I feel like I was there. So I wrote this poem of my impressions of what went on in Mayor Baba's school, gleaned from what Mayor Baba himself explained. So I'm not making this up. This is the way it's explained. I didn't know I was in his school. It was not like other schools. Here I was taught about the planes of light, the mastery of thought and feelings, about the nothing and the everything, and most of all, about you and me. I always knew there was a school like this, but I didn't know where. The schoolmaster was no ordinary man. He knew each of us and loved us. He was kindly and knew exactly what he was doing. I could trust this master of letters with my life. I was safe here. My mind became very sharp, so I didn't have to study hard. The schoolmaster awakened my intuition. I could anticipate what was to be and remember what was. First grade was the best. He taught us how to read sentences in a book, then to read what was between the words. He showed that silence can speak, how to read what was unspoken. We would go on field trips. In more advanced courses, they could see with the mind. That was a lot of fun, touring the world this way. Visiting the past or future could be surprising. Things were often different than what was in the books. In the last grades, you can see the source of all things, be they of this world or beyond. Everything is known. The final test is whether you can walk in everyone else's shoes. Once the schoolmaster is satisfied that you know all he taught, then you graduate and become a schoolmaster yourself, whether you teach others or not. What a great school you have. I'm glad you let me come. There is none like it, your avataric school. How about that? You want to go there? How about that? I have one here. It's titled, Put Yourself in God's Place. You never thought of that, did you? You're going to put yourself in God's place. Oh boy. Now what are you going to experience? Page 11. Okay. I got to get to the right page for this. I selected these prior to the coming online, but then I couldn't get online. Who knew? Here it is. Behold, along comes the avatar. How does he see things? He has a mission to bring you up to his level. So what is his level? What happens when you get there? What does he see? There was a man who asked Baba if his consciousness was different than ours. Baba answered with one word, very. When Baba spoke about how he sees things, he said he sees himself everywhere. Try that out. Just think, if you saw yourself everywhere as the self of everyone, how would you be then, behind the minds of all the bodies everywhere? What would be your work? Would it be to make bad people good? Or would your concern be to release each one from limitation? which is the cause of suffering of all kinds. Well, now we can better understand what Baba has to deal with to enlighten us from what binds us. He comes as the lover and true friend of everyone, no matter whether they be devil or saint, or the common man like us. Baba's mission is to liberate us. Our mission is to be liberated. We were meant for each other. There is no one on this earth worth straining our emotions over when bliss is at hand. Like Baba asked me once, if I give you knowledge, what would you do? Now I know. Share it. I won't be so presumptuous to know what God experiences other than what he explained. But I do know that while I am on this earth, I can better live my life with more compassion and understanding for others because of his sharing the understanding of his own experience and work. Lovingly, dear Baba lovers, Irwin Luck. That's me. Yes, that was, if anyone wants to say anything or ask anything, we're on a Zoom. You can do it. All right. Now, this one is called The End of Mind. Page 18. Let's see what I got. All right. Here it is. Okay. The mind cannot extinguish itself, no more than a man can eat his own mouse. The mind must go for consciousness to be free of its absorption. As I understand Baba's explanation, all meditation is done with the mind. So doing things with the mind does not eliminate it. That is why the avatar comes to do this very thing. Then he picked up a jar. He explained that I was on the inside. All I have to do is remove the lid to be free. But once I thought about it, I knew I could not do it. That is why I was there. Only those who are free can free others. He would have to do it. He made me see no matter what I do with my mind, I am helpless. He is all powerful. So what do I do now? Nothing. He will do it. Now I have to have patience. He will do it when the time is right for me or for anyone. He will balance all the impressions stored in this vast mind of mine. Baba explained that even the most advanced souls in the mental sphere cannot go to the root of the early evolutionary mental impressions stored in the mind. They can wipe out mind impressions going back a few lives. This gives experience of the planes, which are wonderful to the disciple. Meher Baba wants to take us from where we are to where we should be, not through the spiritual path, which is the journey through the planes. That is why perfect masters and the avatar are reluctant to give experiences that are in the mind and are illusory. They are God realized and only give that experience. No one else can do that. The path that Baba wants us to follow in this age of great activity is the path of selfless service. Not because it will give us God realization, but because it will help us live a better life till he enlightens us to the real self, which he will definitely do for those who love and stick to him. That is his mission. Now I will tell you your future. Not because I'm a psychic, which I am not, but because this is the path we are all on. Because of your love for God and truth, you will get drawn to Baba to see him and be with him in his next advent. The power of love is irresistible. You will always get what you love, no matter what it is. That is the law in this universe. Now you want God. So you must get it the way the universe provides it. Through the enlightened ones. Through the enlightened ones. For you, it is the avatar himself, the highest of the high, the master of masters. It is he who determines who will become perfect masters and experience God like himself. Do nothing while doing everything. This means live your everyday life normally. That is nothing. Stick to him by remembering him in everything you do. That is everything. You will eventually not only join him, but you will become him. This is the age-old path to the highest. One last thing. The false self-ego is like the eye of a hurricane. The eye appears to be separate from the space outside the winds circling it. But when the winds stop blowing, the same eye that was limited in size now becomes unlimited and is everywhere. So it is when the mind impressions cease its circling around our consciousness, then the consciousness sees itself as unlimited and is everywhere. My book is online. You might like to read it. In his loving service, Irwin Luck. Now that's a mindful. I hope you can understand it. Should I continue on? I don't think I can hear anybody. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you. Go ahead. Absolutely.
Continue on.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. All right. In that case, I'll do just what you said. I'll continue on. All right. Let's see. What next one? Now, this is an interesting one. Have it. Here, let me get this. And I'll tell you. 30. I had everything in my computer, but my computer went down. So now we got this. This is good. The book is here. All right. The hardest part is turning the page. Okay. Now this one here is another one of how would you like this? Welcome to the avataric world and his house. That's the title. My dear friends and lovers of the avatar, welcome to my world. But whose world? What world? Which world? When Mayor Baba had the popular song sung before him, before 5,000 people in his presence during the East-West gathering in 1962, he told us all, welcome to my world. And what a world it was. Not the planet, as so many people think, When the line in the song came up, he's got the whole world in his hands, we had no doubt whose hands it was in. This is not good. All right, my phone went off. I tell people to turn their phone off and mine goes off. So here it is. When I was with him, it was not the same as being with anyone else. I was not able to worry about the struggles of everyday life. They all fell away into the nothing that was before the struggles began. It was a place where I was fully alive and awake. In this atmosphere, I felt truly at home. Divine presence finally had a meaning. I was being welcomed to his work, to his home in his world. Maybe my poem describes it best. It's titled Mama and Papa. You built a house, but no one lives in it. This house would never sell, even though everyone wanted it. He was the great dream maker who made the real world. In his kitchen, he could make anything. He was an expert cook. He had a recipe for everything. Once the thinking started, this cook could materialize it. He could cook up stars with their planets and all their populations of human and subhuman bodies and minds of every kind. He was a master of the rise and fall of entire civilizations. He knew his way around his kitchen. His recipes are not given out freely. No abuse was allowed by the uninitiated. There is a dining room where you serve the most tasty delicacies, but they cannot be eaten by the mouth. Still, everything must be digested. The greatest musicians, artists, leaders, and even saints sat at your table. They ate your food of genius, knowledge, and love. You filled their plates to overflowing, till even they could eat no more. In this house, there is a bedroom, not for sleeping, but for staying awake forever. It is a place of great rest, where the energy of sleep is gotten without losing consciousness. A place of great solitude, where it is possible to be in touch with all that exists. The bliss of sleep while fully awake to everything. Such a happy state cannot be described in your bedroom. This house also has a living room for visitors that you invite. You show them how to live. There is no sin here. He who comes to this living room tells the truth and hears the truth. All minds here are transparent. Lies and deception have nowhere to hide. So, in your living room, it is easy to find what is real. No excuses here. Who am I? What am I? What is my place in the universe? Do I have a soulmate? Lots of questions. In your living room, I learned to live without needing to speak. You teach by showing, by doing. This house has a laundry room and bathroom. Dirty, depressing, ignorant thoughts and feelings are cleaned here. Once the cleaning starts, nothing can stop it. You come here to relieve yourself of the sins of the world. You flush them into your ocean of light, love, and energy. Nothing is wasted. they return clean, beautiful, and ready for use again. Such is the master's bathroom in this house. Yet even you do not live in this house. You visit it once in 1,000 years. It is very old, but you built it to stand the rigors of time. This is the house that will never be sold, even though everyone wants it. You are my mama and papa. You love me and take care of me. You have a world full of children, young and old. When each are ready, you gather them together and take them home to your house whenever you come. How about that? Now there's a house you'd like to go to. Now this one is called Tears That Make the Man. Dear Mayor Baba lovers and friends, weeping is what people do when the church is bombed or when the children going to school are shot. But what does God do when he hangs on a cross or is skinned alive like Shamsi Tabriz when he proclaimed his divinity? Men, women, children weep when these things happen. Does God weep too? He is all powerful, all knowing. Does he weep? Why does he allow this when it is said he can do anything? Oh my, the eternal questions. The forces of evil versus the forces of light, good versus evil. We live in the world of opposites, where anything can happen and does. All this just to advance our consciousness so we can experience eternal bliss beyond the pains and pleasures of birth and death. So there was a lady who asked Mayor Baba to take upon herself some of the universal suffering that she saw Baba suffering. Baba explained that if an ordinary person was to suffer what he takes upon himself, the person would drop dead immediately. But then don't forget, I am also in infinite bliss and can do this. He explained that as God, he is the self of everyone in both the good and the bad. He takes no sides that favor one over the other. He would say that eventually everyone comes to my feet to be liberated from all limitations. Self-knowledge, bliss, and the unlimited powers of the soul is our true heritage. When he comes into the world, he comes to balance the opposites and give enlightenment to those who come to him for that. When the forces of light and dark clash, it brings about the awakening from the dream that the universe and all it contains is real. Now consciousness must be shaken to wake up, just as a sleeping man is shaken to wake up. This method to acquire the joys of our infinite existence has been going on for ages. Now the awakener comes again to do for us what we cannot do for ourselves. Once again, he proclaims, I have not come to teach, but to awaken. Hail the avatar, the crown jewel. In his mighty love, Irwin Luck. Now you know why, now you know something. He explains things so beautifully if you can understand it, you go over it a few times. You will understand it because he gave it to us to understand. He didn't give us the experience of Godhood, but he gave us the understanding of it, that our intellects and our mind, limited as it is, could understand. So it gives a good understanding of what is going on. Well, I got one here. One Spark of Enlightenment is the title. How many poems can you hear? Anyhow, here it is. Dear ones who read my circular messages. I don't know if you've gotten my circular messages, but these are the ones that came out. What is enlightenment? Much has been said about it from both the unenlightened and the enlightened. It sounds good, infinite bliss to begin with. Wow, who would not like it? Infinite, what a thing, no end, limitless. The well of happiness that has no bottom. Infinite is great. There is nothing like it, so I heard. How can I deserve this great infinite? Can it be deserved? If so, I may as well stop now. I am not the deserving type. I had a friend that was invited to come to see the great avatar of this age. This avatar gave him 10 instructions, things for him to do. Then in the same letter, he was told that he would fail these instructions, but he should come to see him. My friend was undisciplined, a troublemaker, a womanizer. He would take advantage of anyone, but he had a saving grace. He was interested in the beyond, and Mayor Papa was of the beyond. One day it happened that I was able to offer him an airline ticket to see the avatar. He refused to take it. He said, I am undeserving. I can't go. So I said, he didn't say you had to be deserving. Don't make this up. So he went. He met the enlightener. No one comes and walks away the same who meets the one who is in eternal bliss and the knowledge of everything. My friend did not walk away the same. He will never be the same. Neither am I the same. Look at me. I'm writing poems about masters and love. I never used to do that. What will you do when your time comes? In his great love, Irwin. How about that? Now you have what to think about, how you can, because you share these experiences that I had, that others have had. You share it vicariously, and it makes you think about how you would be in the place of the person that was there. My beautiful Judy has come. Now she's listening to me too. She's heard these before. Okay, let me find another one. Oh, this is nice. Does God laugh? How about that? Let's get to that one. Here we go. Well, this is what happened. The avatar wanted to hear the funniest stories in the land. So he sent out a few of his disciples to travel the country to find the funniest jokes and bring them back to him. Then he went back into his seclusion to do his work that no one else anywhere could do. He was well equipped to do this. 5 perfect masters had brought him into the world. They equipped him to accomplish the job of enlightening even the darkest souls. He was given the keys to unlock the consciousness, to unlock the conscious state of eternal bliss. Another key was to that knowledge to which nothing can be added or subtracted. The key to the door of the universal powerhouse and the levers to control this awesome energy to enlighten millions. They gave him the mastery of the mind. No desire could ever control his action. He could inspire millions to achieve any height, even to be like himself. This was a big work that only an avatar could do. His disciples too were working day and night to serve him, carrying out his every command to help him in his awesome work. Now it was time for him and his disciples to have some fun, to relax, to laugh. And for that, the men had come back to tell the best jokes anyone knew. Baba also had fun with amusing incidents. When the hula hoop craze came to India and things got too serious, Baba decided to have some fun. He asked the most unlikely person to spin the hula hoop on his hips. On his hips. He twisted and turned, trying to keep the hoop turning. Everyone had a good laugh. Baba loved it. Another incident was when a man with a big stomach talked too much. Baba took his bowl and bounced it off the man's stomach. The man stopped. Everyone had a good laugh, including the man. One more humorous incident. A man and a woman came to Baba to bless their getting married. Baba would chuckle seeing them. When they left, the Mandali asked Baba what was so funny. Baba explained that these two were kings in a previous life, always fighting each other. Now they come to me hand in hand, in love, wanting me to bless their marriage. So, does God laugh? You bet he does. In his mighty love, Irwin Luck. And these are true stories. Now, let's see. It may have been worth waiting all of this time for the internet to get up for me to go through these tales and these stories. All right. Here's some. Okay. Nazar on page 64. Let's see this one. All right. You see, not everybody knows this. So I wrote about it. And it's very important because this can save you from a lot. What is Nazar? It is when God himself looks over you. It is the eye of God on you. His Nazar is important. It allows you to advance on the path to realizing yourself as unlimited and infinite. No boundaries to your love, knowledge, power, and bliss, or the beauty of your everlasting existence. He won't take you through the spiritual path, which is the path through the planes of higher consciousness. This is the path that the advanced beings and saints are on and take you through if you join them. They too have more to go and can't take you beyond their own level. They too need the help of your Nazar. All beings on whatever level are eligible for your Nazar. simply because the self is real while inhabiting a body and mind. Nothing is written behind the mind to cloud your vision. So he takes you where no one, however advanced, can go. The great mind reflects the true nature of my real, unlimited, loving self. Oh, great avatar, you have promised to take me from where I am at to where I should be. What more can a man born in selfishness ask for? How can a man who sees himself separate from everyone in this vast universe be made to see himself as one with everyone? You know the mind and heart of all beings. No wonder you can do this. The perfect companion to everyone. When you wrote me in a letter, don't worry, do as I say, my Nazar, all-seeing eye, is on you. Another time he said, distance means nothing to me. Time and space are no barriers for me. I will be with you wherever you are. Isn't this what he's been telling the whole world each time he comes? No one is separated from him. He is the one self in all, as your very self. It is impossible not to have his help when you call with all your heart. O great Lord of the blind, in life and after death, you are my Lord and friend. I am following my heart to you. Here is my poem about this, titled Blind Man. I am blind, but I can see. Physical eyes cannot see what I do. There are other blind men. They see many. They are many. They can see the outer world, trees, people, stars in the sky, but most cannot see what I can. I am learning from you how to see. You can see the heart of a man, what he thinks, how he feels, what he wants, what he suffers, what makes him happy. But the blind cannot see this. Their eyes are open, but still they do not see. I talk to them, they talk to me, but nothing is said. Who won the game? What date did Rome fall? Who took out the garbage? How old are you? Who cares? You came along and didn't say anything. When you looked at the game, you could see the thoughts of each player, their strengths, their fears, their energies. You could tell who would win and what would be lost by winning. You could see the chain of events and circumstances that no man could control that led to the date of the fall of the empire. You could see the unlimited self and life force operating in the body of the garbage man. You could see the age-old history of every man that approached you and how they came to be with you this day. I too heard about you and wanted to see you. I came from the land of the blind. I wanted to see beyond physical sight like you do. I can see, I can see. It is true. He can give sight to the blind. Real sight. Okay. Now, the transforming lady. This is good. They're all good, but this is good. All right. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. It's titled The Transforming Lady because that's what she does. He was just an ordinary boy. He was riding his bicycle to school when he met the transforming lady. He only saw her each day in passing, but she knew him. Her eyes were filled with love for him. She kissed him on his forehead, and then something happened which no words can describe. He died on the spot. His body was living, but he was not in it anymore. His body wandered around aimlessly. He was somewhere else. His mother thought he might have gone mad, but he was not. The transforming lady worked fast. Enlightenment doesn't take long. A second might be too long. What happened to him was different than what he knew before. Suddenly he became what he always was, the only one in existence. As he later declared, the cosmos is a dream. Only the infinite self we call God is real. Boy, what a change. To go from a boy going to school to the consciousness of being everywhere in everything. All knowing, enjoying unlimited bliss and love. Who wouldn't like it? The makings of an avatar. Hazrat Babajan, she was called, she could make a beggar into a king or a boy into everything. One day, you will meet your transforming beloved, who will love you so much as to give you the treasure that includes all treasures. When that happens, it won't take long, less than a second, I am told, to become the most beautiful being that ever was. Irresistible to the core. Someone the world will love and want to become. Oh, Merwan, you can do this. This is your destiny, to make us what you are. Well, this was the transforming lady. So I was thinking, and I've said this before, everybody needs their Babajan. And then I thought about it. And I thought, well, Babajan has arranged it in such a way that she can give enlightenment to anyone who approaches her. Maybe even to those who don't approach her. Merwan didn't approach her at first. So, how is she going to do this? When she gave herself to Merwan and made him realize that he was the ocean, which is what she was, she then was living in Merwan. And as Merwan gives it to whomever else comes along. Go get yourself a bicycle, ride to school, see if this will happen. But I don't think it would. It happens once like that. With you, it'll happen in another way, but it'll happen. That's what counts. Now, I have one here. It's titled, If I Were You. Oh, Lord, what would I do if I were you? I heard there is no end to what you do. You tell of a conscious state in which such souls on that plane can create worlds, breathing with all kinds of life. Is this what I would do if I were you? This place is not for me, so you say. One fatal mistake and a precipitous fall in evolution back to stone consciousness. Certainly I am not so perfect as to be beyond mistakes. He is wise. I better not go there. Instead, there is a plane in the mind where thoughts are made, and realms where dreams are real, without the limitations of the earthly plane. Happy states of all kinds that once you enter, you do not want to leave. Certainly a state I would consider if I were you. But no, this too is not for me. There is more to go. There is the great mirror, where the mind is the mirror of the soul. What is a soul? It's me, always was. But in this mirror, I see me. What a glorious being I am. I see myself as everyone and everything. Who knew I would see my light when I saw you on earth? It was my light all along that I saw coming out of you, calling me. In this mirror, I can see the truth. If I were you, what would I look like? How would I feel? What would I want? No mind, however great, can show me that. But you can show me. It just takes a touch. When the drop touches the ocean, it becomes the ocean, with all the innumerable drops in it. If I were you, I would do everything just like you, once I became what you are. Great Lord, no mind has the power to do what your love can do, to make a world full of lovers, one with the only one. So I say, like my mother used to say, isn't love great? Love has the powers to do that. Nothing else can. Well, let's see. What else do I have here? Okay. Now, this one is titled Divine Wine. I want to take a swig of this. 68. Divine Wine. What happened to it? You know, I think I jumped too fast. Well, sometime, yeah, I didn't put a page number on that. So now everything is complicated. Oh, this is all right. Here it is. You see, if you look and seek, you will find. And I just found it. I sent the Lord of Life and Love chocolates. In each wrapper, I slid a note. You are the highest of the high. We love you and always will. We appreciate you very much. Every wrapper had a note in it. So many chocolate bars sent, so many times by me and my brother, each with a note inside. Then one day a cable comes. You're sweetening my mouth now with chocolates. One day I will sweeten your mouth with divine wine. Mayor Baba. This turned out very well. Who would think chocolates for divine wine. Talk about intoxication. I'm happy to try this. Here is my poem that tells about what happened. It could have been 1,000,000 years ago that I heard about the tavern. It has been a long search to find this place. Books have been written about it. Songs have been sung of it. People have whispered about it. Masters have kept it a secret. No one would tell me where it is. Still, I searched. Then one day, unexpectedly, I met you. You asked me for a box of chocolates. You said, you're giving me chocolates now. One day I'll give you divine wine. I was so intrigued that I began to follow you everywhere. Finally, someone knew something about this tavern, where everyone speaks in song, where laughter is the norm, and where the wine of love never stops flowing. A place where everyone is intoxicated with unearthly joys. In this place, the fountain of ecstasy is always gushing out. Just when I thought there was no more of this magic brew, the tavern master pours another round. I take flight into new realms that makes me fly on currents of bliss that are like the waves of the ocean. Together we fly and sing love songs that only this intoxicated brew can inspire. This tavern is where I live now. I searched for this tavern for ages, but when I met you, the tavern came to me. I now know truth is not in words, but only in your heavenly brew. I'll drink to that. I have something to add to this. Whenever the tavern master calls and you sit with him and he passes out the intoxicating brew that transforms your consciousness into everything you can't even imagine, well, he doesn't ask who's going to sit there too. Anybody can come and sit down. He's open for, it's a tavern. It's all, the doors are open. So, because he's promised this to me personally, now this is something that I got a personal promise for, and so I say, hang around. When I get there, if you happen to be there, you'll enjoy it just as much as me, whatever it is. The intoxication that is divine is not the intoxication you get from grapes, the wine of grapes. All right, now let's see what else. Oh, this is nice. I have some good ones coming up. and you know, I hope that you like these. You know, can't do anything. Okay, this one here. Oh. Now this one is titled "It's Magic," and there's something really to know about this. Who says magic does not exist? Not the kind that magicians do. That is make-believe magic, good for shows to fool you. There is a magic of the soul, no fooling about that. The magic of the soul can make any dream come true. It can bring love into your life where there was none. It can make you experience your all-powerful self. That's real magic. Will it, and it is there. If you would like to do magic, go to the master magician of the soul. When the great astrologer came to him, he asked the master of life and death if he believed that the stars guided human destiny. The great one said, "If you follow me, I will teach you how to guide the stars." This really happened. Now, if that is not magic, I don't know what is. The thing about magic is that it is no different than the laws of nature that is everywhere. You won't call it magic when you discover how it works. Magic is the mystery of not knowing how I did it. You can call it a miracle if you like, as long as you don't know how it was done. But once you know, will you call it magic? Still, I love magic, especially the magical feeling of love. I can see love. I can't see love. I can't see God, but I know you're there. You both came to earth in human form. Mayor Baba, how did you do that? It's magic. You know, I'm getting so much feedback, I can't even hold it all. But that's okay. We have time for questions and answers. There might even be a question somewhere. Today, I'm including two stories that share the same meaning. This is what's in the book. This one is called The Bad Boy. Boy, was he bad. He was angry most of the time. Hurting people was no problem for him. He was a terror on 4 wheels in a car. He hadn't killed anyone yet. Offer him some money, and he would make you dead. Give him a gun and watch him go. He was only 10. I could see it now. Reform school, jail, and maybe the chair. What kind of future does this kid have? Still, there is a man who loves boys and girls, men and women like this. They're all the same to him. The worse they are, the better he likes them. No ordinary man for sure. Now, what can anyone do for the murderers, muggers, rapists, genocide killers, the worst of the worst? Who can love such animals in human form? Is it possible to love an insect that takes a form like us? So a man, not like us, also takes human form. He does not punish for misdeeds. Even if you were to torture him, crucify him like Jesus, skin him alive like Shamsi Tabriz, he will not retaliate or think less of you. Could you do that? I could not. But then, as I said, he is not like us. Instead, he declared something amazing that no man I have ever heard would say. Even if the worst scoundrel stood before me, I could make him realize God in less time than the flash of a second. I will turn sinners into liberators. In the face of this, a bad boy does not stand a chance. I did not stand a chance, nor did all the people I know, be they angels or devils, stand a chance that came into his company. This is the man who sees himself as the self of everyone. He is the transformer of minds. Who else can turn the greatest sinners into the greatest liberators like himself? Lovingly always, Irwin. And then there's the second one. titled The Man on the Hill. This was all together. But I divided into two because they were a bit long. Now, this is titled The Man on the Hill. This is a true story. There was a really bad man who lived in the village at the bottom of the hill. He controlled the village people the old-fashioned way, with fear and intimidation. He made his living as a thief. He would steal from the rich and poor equally. He had no scruples. He lived by no law except his own. If you got in his way, murder was no stranger to him. Then he got the news. The man at the top of the hill was calling him to come up the hill. This was the mighty Satya Mang. He obeyed no one. This was unheard of. Who would dare to beckon him? So he ignored the call. But then his mind began to work. Who is this man that calls me? The curiosity began to plague him. I must know who this is. So he, the great and fearless Satya Mang, trod up the hill. But he did not come alone. He brought with him his gang. Now it is recorded in Lord Mayor what happened. As soon as he came before the beloved master, he prostrated himself at his feet. What, you may ask? Satya Mang has never done this before? People would bow before him, afraid of what may happen if they did not show the proper respect. Then the great Lord said to the humble Mang, I will paraphrase this. You come before me, but will you do my bidding? First, you must give up your thieving, murdering ways. Be careful how you answer. If you agree before God, I will take care of you and your family. If not, go your way as before, but you will not have my protection. But if you agree and do not do, God will be displeased, and you will become paralyzed. Satya Mang in that moment chose to become a humble disciple. In one moment, his life changed. When Mayor Baba would call the poor to him and bow before them, he would call Satya Mang to stand with them so he could bow to him as well. Now tell me this, when the meanest, most depraved man can be saved from the fates that await him, then what are my chances? Maybe now I can better understand why St. Francis of Assisi said, when asked why did God choose to make a saint of you when you were such a scoundrel, he is reported to have said, God wanted to show that if I could be made into a saint, then he could do that for you too, no matter whatever you have done. In his mighty love, Irwin. Well, we do have a chance, in the game. In Baba's game, you have a chance. A good chance. Is my time up?
In about it, let me see. I know that there's RT at 9, so I'm not sure if their host has come on yet. Maybe one more. It's just been wonderful.
Okay, I have one that I've been saving to do one more. Judy, can I have the computer now? Because there is something on there that I can. Yeah, I know where it is. This is another computer, the one that wasn't working.
Should I have this one?
Well, just wait a few minutes. Okay. It just takes me a moment here. It's a long moment, but that's how moments are. Okay, here it goes. This is really a special one. That's why I saved it to the last. And I'll tell you in a minute. If I can get this. Oh, okay, I found it. All right, this is very good. Now, I didn't write this. Hafiz wrote it. And he was Meher Baba's favorite poet. Now, this is very special because Hafiz describes what happened when he was given God realization. What happened? He describes it. And it starts off with me telling about how this came about when I was with Baba. I was sitting close to Meher Baba, so near yet so far. In my mind and heart, I wanted the experience of God. I was thinking so strongly that Baba should show me God. Then Baba called for the poem to be read that Hafiz wrote when his master Attar removed the veil and gave him the experience of God. Even though it was being read to everyone, I did feel that Baba was having it read for me to hear. This was Hafiz's poem. Last night, before dawn, I was given relief from all suffering. I was given the water of everlasting life. I drank from the divine goblet and was overpowered by the glory of divinity. What a supremely fortunate dawn it was. And what an auspicious night, the night when I was given the authority of godhood. If my longing is fulfilled and I am in bliss, what wonder? It is the grace of my master. What a wondrous miracle it is to be the slave of the master. I became his dust, the dust at his feet. And he raised me to the highest. Henceforth, I see myself reflected in the mirror of the beloved, and I see my real self. Rejoice, rejoice, and rejoice again, for Hafiz has realized the divine beloved. And we can close with that.
That was so beautiful, Irwin. Thank you for everything you did to get on here tonight. It's really very much appreciated by everyone here. Anytime we get to listen to your poems is a good night.
Well, what I read from was some of the poems in my first book. Then I wrote 3 books. And after I wrote 3 books, I said, that's enough. If people can read 150 poems from those 3 books, they're doing good. I don't need to write any more than that. But anyhow, this book is published actually, and anybody that wants to get it can see all of the poems can do so. And they can just get in touch with me. I'm available. I'm not the unavailable type. So you can get it if you want it.
Yep.
Anyhow, I was happy to be here and to recite some of them.
It's been a wonderful evening, Irwin. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very
Thank you. And hopefully we get to hear from you again soon.
all right. All right. I've been asked to give a talk every week, actually at the center here. I don't do that. When I'm invited, then I am happy to oblige. But apart from that, this is the way I've been doing things here.
You have truly made yourself available to the community, and we are lucky for it.
Thank
You are luck, but we are lucky.
All right. We all have good luck. With
Thank you
Baba,
Thank
you
you so
have
much.
everything. What?
Oh, I was gonna say, thank you so much for everything. And I can tell that you're used to Baba's shenanigans. He had you going, didn't he? Trying so hard to connect with us.
Well, I'll say this. Mayor Baba is not a dull avatar. He'll keep you busy and going. And don't think you have to see him in his physical presence to be jumping the way that he wants, because he'll get you to want what's real. That's his job. If he had to apply for a job, it would be that, to get them to see the real. It's a job. But he gets well paid. He gets bliss. He gets infinite power. I mean, you name it, you got everything. You have everything. What then? What is there to want after that? Nothing. There's nothing to want except to share it. So he shares it. That's what he does.
This is
He's a very nice
outstanding
avatar.
evening.
What did you say, dear?
It's an outstanding evening for all of us. Thank you
Well,
so much.
I'm happy that it could be that. Yes. All right. So what do you have coming up now?
Betty is the host. There she is, for Artie coming at 9, and she'll be putting on the film and the words for the Artie.
All right. Well, Jai Baba, good night.
Jai Baba, good night. Thank you.
Yeah.